What you're about to hear is my conversation with Emile Hanskamp, and we talked about this new Tobias Jesso Jr. record. But what I loved about this conversation is the way that Emile sort of just sat in describing a jump scare moment, which is to say when a song is kind of plugging along in a certain direction, then suddenly there's a pivot. Suddenly there's something that's like, oh, I didn't see this coming, and that's exciting. And honestly, that's the thing that I look for when I think about Tobias Jesso Jr. So I hope you enjoy this conversation. Here's my chat with Emile Hanskamp. Emile, what's up, pal? Nice to see you.
Great to be here.
Welcome. Okay, before we get into this new record, I just want to remind people what it is about Tobias Jesso Jr. that got people excited in the first place. So let's have a listen to this.
Then I find out you've gone and met a new man and told him he's the love of your life.
So that's from back in 2015. That's How Could You Babe? That is from Goon, Tobias Jesso Jr. That record gets him 3 Juno Award nominations, shortlisted for Polaris. Do you want to talk about what it is about that album that made people go, oh, he's next. He's the next big thing that we've got.
Well, first, you just heard it. I mean, I feel like there are the two facets of this. There is the musical element, and I think the only thing the music industry loves more than great music is a great story. And Tobias Jesso Jr. had both here. So, musically, we just heard that. It's this classic, 70s inspired sound. You're hearing Paul McCartney's melodic sensibilities. You're hearing Randy
Paul
Newman.
McCartney's shirt, you're like, yeah, I'm here for this.
Harry Nilsson. It's this beautiful songwriting, and it's gorgeous in that way. So musically, it stands up. But then you have this narrative of this person who, went to LA and couldn't make it as a songwriter or as an artist, moves back to his home of Vancouver because he's facing, he's hit by a car. He learns, he goes through a breakup. He learns his mom has cancer. He learns the piano. He works in this moving company. So he learns the piano off YouTube videos. He makes these demos, sends them to producer J.R. White, who was in Girls. And it basically just kind of dovetails into this beautiful album. And then before you know it, Adele is tweeting the song that we just heard. And, it really became this incredible combination of the right music, the right time, the right story.
But then you've got the accolades, you've got the momentum, you've got everybody excited about your music. Normally, that's not the time you disappear. What do we know about his decision to go, I'm going to take a step back? Yeah,
so he explodes in that way. He gets Best New Music on Pitchfork, all of the things that an artist you might think wants, and then he goes on these tours and he realizes, as he's doing the interviews, he's feeling he's putting on a persona. As he's stepping on stage, he refers to himself as a terrible performer in his own eyes. He starts to drink. He starts to try to find ways to lessen that anxiety, but he realized the spotlight is just not for him. He's quoted in interviews saying, I want to be known as a songwriter. I don't want to be known as an artist. He took the loss, he canceled the rest of his tour dates, and he disappeared. And for the 10 years that followed, that's exactly what happened. He was known as, this great songwriter who's now credits on a lot of songs that but had that one great album back when.
Okay, so in terms of the songwriting credits, you've got Adele, you've got Sia, and then over the next 10 years, he writes for Justin Bieber, writes for Shawn Mendes, he writes for Miley Cyrus, and also this song from last year. Come on! Dua Lipa, Training Season. It's a huge jam. It's just a jam. Yeah. Okay, so obviously the song, it's not anything like what we heard earlier on Goon. How do you think his presence come through on a track like Training Season?
Yeah, I think that's so interesting that we've seen a songwriter go from, stripped down piano balladeer to pop songwriter back. Now we'll get there. I know this new album back to the piano, because I think Tobias Jesso Jr. is known for his very direct, very emotionally available lyricism. It's not the kind of lyricism that has layers to it. What you see is what you get. Very simple, and I don't mean that in a negative way. And all of those qualities lend themselves incredibly well to, obviously, these pop bangers, whether it's, Adele's When We Were Young or Training Season, Dua Lipa, the list goes on and on. So yes, musically, there's a huge gulf between the Tobias Jesso Jr. solo work and the song that we just heard. But that lyricism that we, kind of his trademark does lend itself so well to both.
So suddenly we go from that, and then we are back in this territory. Let's hear what he's up to right now.
I'm trying to look away, I can't avert it. Everyone she touches turns to stone. I'm stuck inside her candlelit other world. I'm hypnotized.
That song is called Black Magic. It's off this new Tobias Jesso Jr. album, Shine. You spent the last few days listening to Shine.
I did.
How are you feeling about this record, pal?
I'm feeling a couple ways about it. I feel like if you're looking at this album as this artist has been honing his craft for 10 years and is, have Goon 2, it is not that.
No.
It is not that in many ways. But I think that I really appreciate that he is taking the human element of this to the next level in the sense of it's him and a piano, and it's a real departure from the kind of glitzy pop that he's been doing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I do think because there's not much to hide behind, even if you compare it to Goon musically, it is simply his voice and the lyrics. And at some points for me, that isn't enough, and I do wish there was a little more to latch onto there.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the approach in which he's going about this because in the era of Rosalia, ultra human art creation, I think this is another facet of that. Like me and my piano, there be no AI in here.
Listen, I was listening to like some of these songs, like I hear them kind of go like, is this a voice note? Like is it basically a recording that you just hit record on his phone? I was like,
it is a live
this
recording.
Good.
Yeah, it is a live recording, which I really respect.
Yeah.
I really, really do respect that. Yeah.
Okay, I want to play a song that jumped out to you, and we're going to talk about why in just a
Jumped
moment.
Cracks wide open and say, I love you. I love you.
That is not like the signal cutting out. That's just what the song sounds like.
Yes.
What is going on here? What do you make of this song?
Love this.
Okay,
But I mean, I do listen to my music at level 100 with the headphones. So this was my lesson. Like this actually caused a tinnitus flare up for me. And that's my fault, Tobias Jesso Jr., not yours. But I love this.
Came out of nowhere.
This was the first single. Like to have like a jump scare in a song like this, I was so excited by this. I love this level of experimentation. And the funny thing is that, so he had been building this album, writing it. He goes to a psychic and the psychic says, you're missing something dramatic on your album. Goes home and he does this. I mean, like I'm saying, the stories around this man, and it's not like he's willfully and kind of manufacturing them.
He's
they
not a
follow
myth
him where he
creator.
goes.
Yeah,
he is the myth, though.
Yeah.
And that's why the industry loves him, one of the many reasons, but love that song.
We wait 10 years, right, for a new record to come, and then we get Shine. How are you feeling about like where he goes from here? What do you want from him?
What I want from him is to keep doing what he's doing in the sense that, we are now starting to recognize songwriters a little more household names. I think he was one of the first. I mean, he was the first one to win the Grammy Songwriter of the Year. When someone has success, they release an album like Goon, the industry expects them to follow a certain path and to be a certain thing and to want stardom. And he has really set his own path in the industry. Whether you like or don't like his music, what I really respect and what I expect from him is, no, I don't think he's going to tour. No, I don't think that he's going to do the things that we expect of someone in the promotion of an album cycle. And I think that is inspiring and really necessary in an industry that's pushing artists to be a certain thing all the time.
Yeah.
He is one of a few artists right now that is hyper successful and doing it, on his own terms. Yeah. And I think that that's what we can continue to expect from him.
The only thing I want from Tobias Jesso Jr. is just to continue taking risks. Go like, okay, see where this takes you. If you want to add drums to the song, by all means, please do so.
More jump scares, Tobias. Would love that.
Emile Hanskamp, you're a delight. Thank you so much for being here, friend.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Emile Hanskamp is a freelance music journalist. She was in our Toronto studio. My name is Elamin Abdelmahmoud. This show is called Commotion. Hey, we'll see you tomorrow.